Your people. So, yep, it's about that time. I have another one. And the timing of this is great. Obviously, I'm releasing this on the day that Paul McCartney, who's supposedly 80, headlines Glastonbury as the oldest headliner, solo artist headliner to headline Glastonbury. Now, Glastonbury is blatantly part of it, and I'll do a video on that another time. Anyway, let's get into it. I believe that Paul McCartney is also John Squire from the Stone Roses, Richard Ashcroft from the Verve, and Jason Pearce of Spiritualized. Now, those of you who know my videos know I've done previous videos on these other guys, John Squire, Richard Ashcroft and Jason Pearce, and if you haven't seen those videos, go and watch them after this one, because really it's better to see those before you see this, because this is a carry on from those. So I've already done the work on 3 of these characters, and I'm adding Paul McCartney to the 4th character on the list, which is all these same people. Now, I have to shout out to Mr. BXing in the comments who noticed this, and I straight away saw it, but then I googled it and I found a picture of Paul McCartney with Richard Ashcroft, which I'll show you in a sec, which sort of put me off the trail. But I had many others to do, so I didn't really look any further. But if we put all of these guys here together, we can start to see the resemblances. Now, the main thing is with these, and the reason why I'm doing this video of all of them, linking it all together, is to show you, because you really need to see them all and to see the likenesses in them all. So if we look at John Squire in the top left here of the Stone Roses, looking very similar to Richard Ashcroft there, looking also a little bit like Jason Pearce, you know, and also a little bit like Paul McCartney. But you have to sort of look at them, a bit of each one, to see bits of the parts of each character which makes them all, and especially which makes Paul McCartney, because when you just look at Paul McCartney, he looks different to them all. But if you look at Jason Pearce, Spiritualized, bottom left, and Paul McCartney here, you can start to see Jason Pearce's eyes and Paul McCartney's eyes are looking similar there. Jason Pearce has obviously got blue eyes, Paul McCartney got brown eyes, but they're looking very similar there. If you just take, for instance, Richard Ashcroft and Paul McCartney, Richard Ashcroft top right, Paul McCartney obviously bottom right, they look so different. How can they be the same people? Because obviously Richard Ashcroft has got a fake nose or a different nose. Paul McCartney may have a real nose or just what is a different nose. So Richard Ashcroft's got a bigger nose, which takes it away from the character. Richard Ashcroft seems to have the blue eyes, which is the same blue eyes as Jason Pearce from Spiritualized has. So you can see, you start to see them all sort of link up, but you have to really look at all 4 of them together to really start to see that Paul McCartney is part of these people, and they're all the same guy playing these characters. Now, as I said, I was initially put off it, even though I saw it, because of this photo. Paul McCartney speaking to Richard Ashcroft. But, of course, you know, this photo looks really realistic. But, like, it's easy to fake a photo. You know, these people fake masks. They deceive us in such in-depth ways that faking a photo in this day and age is a very easy thing to do. One thing I'll say is, if there's just like one photo, what I feel I've noticed, if there's one photo, it's just one photo, so you can sort of ignore it. If there's a lot of photos of many different times and many different places, from what I can see, they don't really go into that kind of depth to hide it. But again, I wouldn't rule it out. So yeah, one of the photos I used in the 4 photo display, and again, So you can see the similarities in those two there, and then you can see the similarities between Jason and Richard. And then we've got a picture of Paul McCartney here, and then you've got John Squire, so you can see the similarities there. John Squire can also look like Jason Pearce. Jason Pearce there looking like Paul McCartney. So you see what I'm saying? Once you start putting them all together, it's like each character looks a little bit like one of the other characters, enough to see Paul McCartney out of them. So let's look at some links. So this is John Squire doing a pose like on the Beatles' Help album. Now he's actually copying John Lennon, which is second from the left, and Paul McCartney is third from the left, but it's still a Beatles reference. Then we have Richard Ashcroft with a St. Paul t-shirt. Paul McCartney's known as a bit of a, you know, all-round good guy. So yeah, St. Paul fits there. Then we have Jason Pearce from Spiritualized album Come Together in orange. Then we have Richard Ashcroft with an orange jacket on. And then we have Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney dressed in orange. So that links all those three there with the orange. And if you understand the relevance of orange, the Orange Order of Freemasonry, and that's its flag there, notice the English flag and the purple star. And we got Paul McCartney, the old Paul McCartney. I still believe there's probably two Paul McCartneys, and this is probably the first one. But that's his mop head haircut. And then there's John Squire of the Stone Roses with a very similar mop head haircut. Now, this one's a mad one because I didn't actually spot this until before I was just about to do the video, which was staring me right in the face. So the Beatles did a song called Come Together, which was on the album Abbey Road. And that's the single Come Together there, which has got the same cover as the actual album, which is Abbey Road. But Come Together, the single, was off the Abbey Road album. And then Spiritualized, one of their best songs, released a song called Come Together. And this was on the Abbey Road EP, which is such a blatant link. And like I said, I didn't see it until last minute before I was just about to do the video. I was like, how did I not spot that one? And then we have Paul McCartney's album, Standing Stone. And then we have a Paul McCartney rose, a rose literally named after Paul McCartney. So that links for the Stone Roses there. And then this is a Paul McCartney website, and there's this random sort of link that says the Stone Roses. So as I know how they work, this is what they do. They do these random little links. So if you notice this here, Paul McCartney, Ecce Cor Meum, if that's how you say it, Latin for Behold the Heart. And that ECM on there, the way that's styled, the way that's done, that's a royal thing. Also notice the colour is purple and sort of a lilac light purple, which is a royal colour. And it's called a monogram. It's a royal thing. All royals have their own monograms. And if you see this one here, some examples of some royal monograms. Yeah, it's what they do. So we know he's a royal. Here's another thing, that Ecce Cor Meum, with a sort of guitar and knight royal thing going on there. So yeah, more royal connections. So let's look at their partners. So this is Paul McCartney's latest partner, Nancy Chevelle. I don't know if it's wife or not, but Nancy Chevelle. So obviously he had previous partners and was married before. This is Richard Ashcroft with Kate Radley. So this is John Squire with his wife. And I've talked about them in the two previous videos I've done, so go and watch them if you've not seen them already. And this is Nancy Chevelle here, but this is the connection here that I wanted to show. Nancy Chevelle, and this is Linda McCartney, Paul McCartney's original wife, And that is Kate Radley, Richard Ashcroft's wife. And that's Linda McCartney there. And those two just look so similar, and that's what convinced me. I mean, just look at the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Looks very, very similar. And then further to convince me, I realised that both Linda McCartney in Wings with Paul McCartney played keyboards, and Kate Radley, when she was in Spiritualised, because she originally went out with Jason Pierce before Richard Ashcroft, played keyboards, and I think she plays keyboards for Richard Ashcroft. So those two characters both play keyboards, and that was just like, yeah, I'm 100% now. So for further connections, which I actually don't think's needed, but just to show you how they work, Paul McCartney's old wife, after Linda McCartney, was Heather Mills, the famous supposedly one-legged model. And I believe that also Heather Mills is one of these characters played by this woman as well. So yeah, I'm 100%. John Squire, Richard Ashcroft, Jason Pierce and Paul McCartney are all the same person. Now, obviously, if you're into this enough, you can see that they play many roles and it gets less surprising. But even so, the fact, when you really, really think about the fact that Paul McCartney of the Beatles, famous musician around the world, is also Richard Ashcroft of the Verve, John Squire of the Stone Roses, and Jason Pierce of Spiritualised, and I imagine many other actors, because they play many roles. It's just crazy, but you know, the more you watch this, the more you see this, the more you get used to it, and the more you understand that this is what's going on. They are actors, they play many, many roles, and the whole world is a stage. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace!